Okay, so here are a bunch of clips that I recorded on Friday with the new hire, Dove, who so far is a pleasure to work with. Okay, so we are at a Rheem unit for a warranty call. You can see we got water all around the unit. I pulled our vapor sensor, our water sensor, and got a ton of rust and corrosion on there. The unit is leaking at the drain valve, so I'm gonna pull this drain valve, redo that connection with Teflon and dope. Right now we're draining the heater with the Milwaukee transfer pump into the toilet with our pressure relief valve open so that it drains faster. Okay, so I am at a Rheem electric water heater that another person had diagnosed it with bad elements and a bad control board, which is right here. The control board is an unknown whether or not that's working, but it did test our elements, and our elements are testing out good. However, since Rheem provided them, I'm going to replace them, and I'm going to replace that board right now. But to test our element, I was showing Dove that we just disconnect our wires, we set our meter to resistance, and I had to lower the volume here because it was way too loud, but we were getting 10.5, 10.6 ohms on our existing ones. And I was just showing him, you got to make good contact and what the reading means. And if I grab one of our new ones here, we get, and then just repeat it on this one, 10.5, 10.6 ohms, so same reading on both. That was this case for both elements. Is what it is, we'll replace them. I'm actually suspect that this is gonna end up being bad. Because we're going into errors. We're not not heating, and we don't know what the errors are because it's not doing it while we're here, but I really don't think that it will be this, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so here I pulled out that controller, and you got to be very careful. These two metal clips clip onto those two plastic pieces on this side right here. And if you break those clips, you're done. That's it. You have to get a new tank. That's per Rheem. So you have to be really, really careful. They're fragile. But if you take a look at this board here, we got a burnt terminal, which is interesting. I wonder why that happened. But yeah, take a look here. It's burnt.
Oh, wow.
So I'm hoping that didn't cause damage to the main control then. But here's our new one. I'll put it in right here and slide it back into place. And let's see. Line it up. And pull down. There we go. We're in there. That's it. And then we just plug all our wires back into where they go. Okay, our pump's pumping away. I was able to get our first element out. We could actually take a peek at that anode rod. I could show you inside. I'll take a video. So, right in there is our anode rod, that metal rod.
Yeah, going up.
See how everything's like attracted to it? And then next to that is our dip tube. The cold water supply is a plastic tube that goes all the way to the bottom of the tank to make sure that you're filling cold at the bottom. And overall, the inside of the tank looks pretty clean. It's fairly new, so it should, right. But yeah. Yeah, this one's nice and dirty. And then we pulled out some sludge down here. Try to clean that out a little bit and then throw the new one in. So now we got our new control in. Let's straighten that out a bit. And our new elements in. I'm going to take some pictures for our invoice, get everything put together, and then we could fill it back up. Always fill it before you turn it back on. Okay, so that went well, nice and smooth. I set up his phone, the homeowner's phone, with the heater. That way, in the future, we'll know exactly what the error is, because I didn't have any errors while I was here. And I suspect there could be a possibility of another control issue just because that happened. I don't know. And then he tipped us, and he asked for my card, my information, because he said it seems like I'm smarter than the other guys that were here. So it was kind of nice of him to say. But I am now headed to my next call, which I believe I'm just going to be threading a steam radiator for an air valve. Okay, so here's our radiator. There are our threads. Looks like he tried to put this on. Tried to put this on, and it just wasn't going. So I'll put my threader in here, and we want to catch the original threads if we can, and get it nice and straight, and then I'll tighten it slowly. Okay, so if we take a look in there now, you can see we've got threading. It's not going to be great because it's been stripped already, but it's going to be enough that we can now grab onto our new air vent and get it tight in there. And now we're at the boiler. I'm draining out our water. He says it surges a lot, but now we can't even see it. So I'm gonna pull a sight glass, do nuts washers. I'm also gonna treat it with Surgex. Here's the water that's coming out. It's thick brown water, because nobody's maintaining this. Okay, so me and Dove, hello. We cleaned out the water in the boiler, flushed it a little bit, and it's still coming back filthy. I feel like we could be there for hours cleaning it out. I told the customer he needs to more regularly drain the water from the boiler, monthly, test the low water cutoff. We put in Surgex to address surging, but I think the surging he's seeing is because the circulator for the basement loop pulls off the bottom of the boiler and then shoots into the top of the boiler, which is whatever. Now we are heading to a call that is dispatched out as thermostat will not turn on or off. So I don't know if it's not turning on or if it's not turning off the boiler, but it doesn't make sense either way, because if it's off, how would she know that it's not turning it off if she's not turning it on? I don't know, it doesn't make any sense, but we'll see what happens. Okay, our pressure control is set too high. Our water level, looks like our water is full to the top. Looks like the boiler's overfilled. And we gotta fix that, because that's gonna become a major issue if it hasn't already. Carbonizing the boiler. And what does it look like up here? I can't. You could see all this charring here. That's from being carbonized. You know, there's clear burning on these wires, so at some point the rollout was tripping. That spill switch, I did just reset it. It physically pushed in. So that means that it was popped.
What should it do to know when it's not popped? You push it in? You don't have to push it
If you push it, you don't get any real, like, click or anything. I'm assuming that, or I would guess that it's going to turn on now once he hooks that thermostat back up. I can just bypass them, just like what we've been doing in the past. Together. I'll jump them out. Do you mind holding this just to this area? If there is flame rollout, I want to catch that on camera. Oh, we're still not getting anything. So now, since I checked for voltage here before I hit that rollout switch, I'm going to check for voltage again, or before I hit the reset switch. No voltage, nothing. I'm just going to go from R to common here. And we have no voltage, so very possible that our
Which we're reading 24.
Yeah, it's very possible our transformer is blown. Is there any switches shut off to the boiler anywhere? Switch on top of the stairs?
Yeah.
Is it off?
No, it's on right now.
Okay. We have no... Yeah, so customer thinks he's an HVAC tech, so he tried to change out his thermostat, run new wire, and then rewire it. And that went very well, because now he has to buy a fan center relay from us. And what's all that glare? And I told him that there's a high probability after I put this in that I'm not going to be able to leave this up and running without cleaning out all that carbon. So we'll see what happens. And the homeowner had put the thermostat on. This one tried to make it work. He couldn't get it, so he put the old one back. And he wired W and Y instead of R and W, which is why it originally wasn't working. And then I guess he started messing with the wires and blew the transformer. But I'm going to put this new one on for him. Oh, we got something. And we'll get our time and date set up. And here was our combustion test results. I had to stop it to protect my life and the sensor, and it's not safe to run. It needs to be cleaned out, and that pilot needs to be fixed as well. Okay, so at this point, that's it. We can't leave this boiler running because it's a safety hazard. And it needs to be cleaned, but the customer at this time is not opting to go for a cleaning. He would like to get other pricing, so we are wrapping it up here. You can see the boiler's overfilled, if the sight glass is even reading properly. But it doesn't look like there's any evidence of a cracked heat exchanger, because it's really clean down there aside from the carbon. Okay, so I was at the shop for a little bit with Peter and Dove, and looked at his truck for a little bit. Just talked for a little bit, and now I'm heading towards Hicksville on the way home to a Rheem, no hot water. Hopefully I can get our hot water for the weekend, but usually Rheem has to send a part. I have gas valves, I have pilot assemblies, so we'll see what happens, but hopefully I get some good footage as well. Hopefully it's installed properly too. And here's the unit. It is 2 years old, and both elements tested out okay, but we're tripping on emergency cutoff, so they're sending a new power board because it shouldn't be tripping. Everything's okay. In an emergency pan, and I think technically the PEX should be 18 inches, but it's pretty good. We got a AAA going all the way to the ground. Expansion tank's the wrong orientation, but it is what it is. Okay, so that was pretty much my day. Just showing Dove, how different things work. Important things like that a water heater needs to be filled with water before you turn on the heating elements for the electric water heaters. Different like tips and tricks. It's hard to teach him like everything, because a lot of this stuff just like happens in like the back of my head. It's not really something I'm like directly looking for, and I need to be able to like teach him that stuff too. But he's been watching videos. I learned a lot from watching YouTube videos explaining things, so I sent those videos to him, and then like I asked him the next day some questions, and instantly correct answer every time. So he's learning, at least like book wise. He watches what I do. He asks questions after the job is over based on what I did when we're driving. He's always ready to like he's much older than I am. He's 44 and I'm 24. He's 20 years older than me, and he's like trying to grab the tool bag before me because he doesn't want me to carry it, or bringing materials in so I don't have to bring them in. And it's like, it feels weird to have like an older gentleman doing that for me. It's like normally I'd be doing that for him, but it's nice. He's a pleasure to work with. it's also just nice to work with somebody in general, at least somebody that's not an idiot, because usually you're just working alone. And he just seems to be picking up everything, and he seems like he's gonna be like he fits right in immediately. So hopefully, as things continue, he just gets better, and yeah, it's just really nice. Hoping that he stays. I think he likes it, but it's just he's got to learn a lot of the stuff that we do, because he's just waste lines and things like that. But we do heating, water heaters, mainline stuff, filters, things like that. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Like the video if you liked it, comment any advice or criticisms or feedback, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.